The hardest character in Guilty Gear Strive. As you may know, I am a Jacko main, along with many other characters, and the character I by far had the hardest time with is Jacko. What makes that character so difficult? Well, let me tell you. Jacko can be played in several ways, and all those ways require high APM and meter management. Whether you're zoning, doing a block string, or even doing one of her extended combos with minions, they all require to be fast and precise. On the surface level, it may all look easy compared to a character like Asuka, where he's constantly inputting things while seeing which cards he has, while he has to be fast, but looks can be deceiving. With Jacko, you not only have to be in constant movement in both air and ground, but you also have to make sure you are positioned correctly to interact with your minions, since they do not follow you and can be hit. Though these may look like drawbacks, since you have to be constantly aware of where you are and your minion is, it is far from that. Once you interact with your minions in certain ways, they change the properties of either the minion themselves or things you hit them with, meaning you can get more active frames on normals or hit stop effects that wouldn't normally happen, making moves that aren't plus turn into plus moves, or moves that are plus even more plus. Trust me, it's a lot to keep track of in the middle of a match, but it does come with time, and if that's not enough, some of your strings on offense may change due to your opponent's defensive choices. Jacko, when she has a minion out, is really strong, but when she's by herself, she can be very prone to offender using attacks to chase her down. Since her offense and defense isn't the best when she's alone, she has to look for a precise spot to be able to call out one of her buddies. It can be really dangerous to pull out a minion right in front of the opponent, so it is wise to do it from far away, but that's not always a choice. So we have to find ways to surprise them, which this tricky character has many ways to do. Jacko has a special property people don't know, but when she pulls out a minion, she can hold the input to not put it down. This gives her access to a backwards run instead of a backdash, so instead of having invul on retreat, she runs back faster, but that's not all. She also has access to jump, barrier, RC, and super to really keep your opponent guessing. Once Jacko has you on the defensive and has her boys with her to jump you, she has a lot of options. Due to her absurd meter gain, she almost always has 50 bar before she even hits you. This 50 bar gives her access to her supers. These supers, depending on when they are used, can be very deadly. Her offensive super is a super where she raises her red flag and gives the minions a boost, keeping them on the screen longer and refilling your minion gauge while keeping it healthy at the same time. The other super is a defensive super where she holds a blue flag, giving minions armored mask that looks similar to Jacko's. But like they say, a good defense makes an excellent offense. These minions, unlike normal cases, cannot be hit and are constantly on the screen. They also do not go away once you are hit, only when you are bursted or wall broken. Since they don't leave under normal circumstances, this can lead to doing pressure you normally can't, or even use them to attack on your opponent's offense if there is a big enough gap. These moves give you a lot to do and your opponent more than enough to worry about. With the amount of specific things she has to do depending on the resource, making autopilot almost impossible on some of these characters, especially the fast ones. You must be ready for any situation before it even happens. That, combined with her low health and defense, is why I believe for her to be the hardest character in the game.